Okay, so let's do another one that has to do with tangent to the circle. All right, write the equation of the circle that has a center at 2, -4, and this time it's tangent to the x-axis. See what you can do with that.
How do you decide what the signs are for like x blank goes 2? How do you decide what the signs are?
Do what?
What the sign is, like x plus 2.
Okay, it's going to be, no, think about, literally all you're doing is you're plugging in the x for the h and the 4 for the k.
And it has to be minus.
Right, right. So it's x minus 2 squared plus y minus the -4 squared equals r squared. Okay, does that make sense? I think that answered your question.
Okay.
What's this r squared?
16.
16. Because the radius is 4. Good, good. Okay, one other type of problem, and then that's it. Okay. Write the equation of the circle that has these two as endpoints. Okay, so I have a -7, 11, and I have a 5, -10. Okay, now we're going to graph this out so that you can see, so we can visualize it. Okay, so this is the point -7, 11, and this is the point 5, -10. Okay, those are the two endpoints, so therefore my circle, we're going to do something like that. Okay, how do I find the center point?
Would you like add both those together? Something?
And
2 and divide by 2.
that's it. Okay, you find the midpoint. And if you remember the midpoint formula, it's x of 1 plus x of 2 divided by 2. So I'm going to take the -7 plus the 5 and get a -2 divided by 2 is a -1. Okay, so we're talking my center x is -1. Then I would do 11 plus 10, -10, which is +1. So I have the point -1, 1/2. So I can put that much into my formula. X minus a -1 squared plus y minus 1/2 squared. And I have to figure out what the radius is. Okay, now obviously this can be changed to plus right here. Now, any idea how am I going to find the radius?
Would you multiply that 1?
Well, the truth of the matter is, I would need to find the distance from there to there, or the distance from here to here. Okay? Now, at this point, you do not have the distance formula in your calculator, but remember I told you we're going to do that. So we're going to do it by hand here. So it's the square root of -7 minus a -1 squared plus 11 minus 1/2 squared. Okay, you with me? I didn't have to, I could have used this point and this point, okay, but it's the midpoint and one of the endpoints. So this is gonna, I'm gonna add the opposite of there, so it's gonna be negative 6 squared, which is 36. And then that's gonna be 10.5 squared, which I have no idea what that is. So it's gonna be 110.25. So I've got 100, the square root of 146.25. So what is gonna go right here? If the radius is the square root of that, and this is the radius squared,
146.
that's it. Good, good, perfect. That's gonna go right there. Okay, now they're not gonna give you a lot of problems like that, but they're gonna give you some. Okay, those are a little bit harder because you've gotta use, now you know why you had to brush up on the distance formula and the midpoint formula and all that stuff.
So midpoint formula, you did the midpoint formula for the x's and then the y's?
Yes, for the x's and then for the y's. Basically, I found the average of the x's and the average of the y's.
And midpoint formula is x would be x plus x over 2.
Right, the way that it typically is done out is x of 1 plus x of 2 over 2, and then midpoint y is y sub 1 plus y sub 2 over 2.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna do, I'm gonna have you do one, okay, and see what you can do with it. Now, it's gonna be easier than the one we just did because they come out to be like whole numbers, okay? Okay, so you're looking for the equation of the line that has endpoints at 1, 8, and at 1, negative 6. It's actually way easier than what we just did because going through the thing is a horizontal line. Or actually a vertical line, I'm sorry. This circle's terrible.
So after you find the midpoint.
Okay, midpoint was 1, 1, 1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you've got part of that already. So you've got x minus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared. What you don't have is the radius. So now you gotta find the radius. Now, you don't have to use the distance formula in this because it's a vertical line right here. So here's my point, 1, 1. How do I find the distance between those two?
Oh, you just count, huh?
I can count, or I can go 8 minus 1.
Oh.
Okay, same thing here, you have negative 6 to positive 1. So what would be what's gonna go right here?
49.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give you your homework on this. Page 427 through 428. I want you to do, now it's gonna seem like a lot, but this is a whole lot easier than that other stuff.